Yeah, looks like looking at my junk I bought on eBay is a big hit with fans. So you like watching what I waste money on around here. Yeah. But you want to know how much I paid for all this crap? Hell, I don't know what I paid for this crap. Who cares? I paid enough to it when I bought it, I guess. I thought it was a deal. You know, that's where that comes from, is junk parts. So there you go. We'll figure it out. So I came for another Christmas Eve almost. And we're not that close yet. We're getting there. So what is it? 60 degrees in here. Appropriate wearing for cold weather. Yeah, bare feet. Tatro shirt. Tatro shirts are definitely what you wear for keeping warm. Yeah, right. Alright, so we're going to open up I got 3 boxes here. I definitely spent way too much money last week on eBay. So, yeah. So, I don't remember what I paid for all these parts individually, but it was over 2K. So, that hurt my old checkbook a little bit. So let's see what I bought, because I don't remember. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, easily. And if I outbid you, now you know how much I paid. More than you. Alright, what we got in here? Looks like packaging's really good, which is always a plus. Always like getting my parts here undamaged. So, see, they pack them real nice and double layered. So if you got to ship parts, that's how you do it. Individually pack everything and then put it into another box and pack it again. That way it's really securely gets here. But I'll guarantee you the postman or the UPS guy or FedEx, whoever's doing it, they don't care. They throw that stuff all over the place. I've had flywheels thrown over a 6-foot or 7-foot fence on my old building and land on concrete. And they wonder why I don't like it when they deliver parts. Some of them guys have no brains at all. Alright. Everything's well packed, which means you pay a lot of money for shipping. If you get your parts undamaged, it's kind of worth it. Looks like I'm in the seat springs. So these are buddy seat springs. So they go in the back of a rigid frame and hook up on the seat to support it, and these are your springs that go up and down. And they got little clamps here to hold them onto the frame. So this one's for a 45 because it's got 2 little holes in the middle. These upper brackets change for different years and models. So that's what that one is. There's another one. So this one has a different bracket on it. And it's definitely a different width too. Look at the width change on that thing. So I'm not sure what the hell this thing is. This might be homemade. I don't know. I've never seen one this wide. But they got some pretty nice spacers here that look pretty original for something. So this has a wider bolt pattern here. So maybe this is for an Indian. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it was. No, it's been modified. You can see where they cut and welded right here. So they were doing something. This is usually a big twin fender mount here, which is knuckle pan, shovel. Well, not shovel. This is rigid frame, so not swing arm. So yeah, this has been butchered. So that's a parts one. But it's okay, we bought another one to have more parts. So there's the same one, but the correct width. So you take this one apart, put this part on it, and then you got a correct one. So I might do that, or I might just throw it in the pile. So there you go. So it's a rear stand leg. We're missing part of one. So I've been trying to get these for a little while for my panhead. This is a big twin. Big twin goes at an angle like this. 45 goes straight up and then up here at the top. So I like one on my 57 drag bike because I like crap like this on my race bike. The problem is these are going for 150 bucks and up. It doesn't seem to matter what condition they are. So I got half of one. So all I can do is find another one, and I'll have a full one. I do that a lot where I buy junk like that. It's only half. Alright, what else do we got here? We got ourselves a panhead front backing plate and sleeve. Only slightly rusted in. So, take a little bit of CRC 336. Put a little squirt them on there. And you beat on it a little bit. So this is the one that goes across the fender. On your front fender, it goes over the right side brake caliper, which is your later model bike. That's probably for a 60 and later. The earlier ones, damn, that is sharp. Grab something down there, poking a hole in my thumb. So on the earlier panheads, this tube just goes straight up and you got a left side brake. So somewhere in the later years they swapped that. For sure, probably when they went to swing arm bikes, they probably did crap like that. So let's see if we can get this thing apart. It moved. If it moves, it'll come out. Yeah, maybe it didn't move. I think it felt like it did. It moved that time. So once it starts to move, the rust starts to come off a little bit. Now I could go in there with some emery paper and knock down the rust, but that'd be way too easy. Just try back and forth a few times to break it free. It doesn't seem to want to go any deeper. Damn, that is sharp down there. Cotter key getting me. So the real way is take your bee blaster and knock off the rust, but not everybody has that. So one trick you can do that doesn't do much damage is you take an old file, not one like this that's real coarse, one that's more dull like this one. And with just light pressure, just keep moving around a little bit and knock off the high spots of the rust. If you take emery paper to it, it makes it smaller easily. Smaller is not what you want to do on your parts. They're made a certain diameter for a reason. This is not taking anything off except rust, because it's a fine file. And probably dull, because I've done this more than once. Plus these Harley sleeves are heat treated, so they don't really cut anyway. Most of the old Harley parts are heat treated, that's why I like them. Taiwan's heavy stuff is usually soft. There you go, looks nice and dirty now. Okay, now we'll try it again. See, I went further that time. So you go back, put a little squirt of them in there. Go back again. Now I'm not hitting against anything solid, that way I don't put too much pressure on it. So if I hit this against a table or something, you can actually break the vacuum plate. Now this has been hit right here, I can feel it now. So this has been actually damaged, so this is actually a bad one. I guarantee I didn't see that in the video. Or the video, not video, but pictures on eBay. Because it's hard to see. It's actually a big low spot right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it took a big hit there, so this one's definitely damaged. There we go, we're almost out now. Okay, over here near your phone so it hits something that comes out. See how it pops out? Boom. So there you go, that's all out now. Then you can take that and clean up with a good scrub pad or something, get almost all the rust off, and put that back into service. That's a good unit. This one over here, you might as well just strip this thing down because it's pretty well junk. Yep. It's going to be all bent. You might not see it, but I'm sure it's not straight and square anymore. So I'm going to make a disc brake front end by and have drums on it by hiding it and put some brake rotors on the back. That the rear brake rotor is off of like modern Jap bikes, Kawasaki's, Hondas, Yamahas, Hayabusas, all those. They have those little small brakes that are like 8 inches in diameter, 8.5 inch. This is 9, a little over 9, so it'll fit right up inside of here. You cut the bottom off, put a caliper down here, make up your own bracket. And you can have a nice hidden brake caliper down here, and it still looks like a drum brake, even though it's going to be disc. So this is a prime candidate for doing that too, because this one's not very good. So, but this part's still good. It's got the locking plate on here, which is easy missing. That's really hard to come by, so that's good. So even though this thing's a piece of crap, this is good, and that sleeve is really good. So the rest of the stuff, not so much. There's actually a little tapered washer in here that you want to keep underneath this tube. The tube ain't. I guess the tube is still good. It's still a good tube. You can paint it. It's not damaged, so we'll keep that too. But anyway, we'll strip this apart. Clean it all up. So I just put a little squirt of them on here to make things easier to come apart. Let it sit for a while. There you go. That's how you do it. Alright, let me clean this up and be back.